Arthur Miller met Marilyn, he was already a famous playwright. His immensely successful play, Death of a Salesman, had opened in 1949, and this was just before Arthur Miller went to the West Coast where he met Marilyn. After meeting Arthur Miller for the first time then in 1950, Marilyn signed up for a University of California extension course in literature and art in February 1951, and Miller famously sent her a reading list of over 200 titles. When we're talking about Arthur Miller and Marilyn Monroe's marriage in the years of 1956 to 1962, we're talking about a very particular time in American history, cultural history. This is America thrust in the Cold War. This is an America ruled by McCarthyism and McCarthy's paranoia about communist activities among especially intellectuals, or eggheads as they were called, and Arthur Miller was one of them. Arthur Miller had written Death of a Salesman. There could be no more subversive play than Death of a Salesman, a play that denounces capitalism and denounces really the American dream. In particular, the consumerist aspects of the American dream and that relentless pursuit of progress. But also, I think, from what Arthur Miller himself is saying about the relationship, as well as what Marilyn Monroe was saying. She wishes to be a serious actor, he wishes for commercial success. And to the public, he epitomizes high culture, and she is forever doomed to be associated with sort of popular culture, mass culture. And I will also say that to a great extent, Arthur Miller was discovering movie making via Marilyn Monroe. And the thesis that I will be developing throughout is that Marilyn Monroe and Arthur Miller together represent a wider narrative that is the story of America's struggle with its social conscience and its fading dream. It's filmed in the early 1960s, and so therefore the Misfits is framed within a bigger narrative of an American conscience. We're talking civil rights, we're talking equality, and this is all the more interesting, I think, because Arthur Miller chose to tell a contemporary story via the myth of the Wild West and the rodeo rider. Only in Arthur Miller's rendition of this famous all-American myth, there are no good guys and there are no bad guys. Instead, this script kind of reads like a Death of a Salesman. It critiques American culture. This film is a story about consumerism. This is a film about a loss of faith. This is a story of loss of credibility, and importantly, this is a story about the loss of conventional heroism. And Miller, throughout these 600-page autobiography, is trying to find something else to believe in. The story of his life begins with the Depression. He was born in 1915 and grew up in predominantly Jewish Harlem. And he says that many foreigners, many political commentators are asking themselves why there has never been a revolution in America. And he says that the answer is that Americans are inclined to blame themselves rather than the system for their downfall. Arthur Miller is preoccupied with fathers, his own as well as others. He argues that his father and many of those of his father's generation never recovered from the Depression, in the sense that they never recovered from the lack of dignity, from the lack of confidence that the terrible financial loss brought upon them. He says in his autobiography that hope has gone out of them. The capacity to believe is no longer there with us. It's a moral catastrophe. And what of Marilyn? Well, Marilyn occupies these pages. Her presence haunts the author. But not only the author, but also the portrait he gives of 20th century America. The Marilyn he gives is a Marilyn who herself struggles to believe in the myth of the great actress, the myth of make-believe, the myth of American innocence. Marilyn does not appear in his autobiography as the femme fatale that the public insisted on portraying her as. Instead, Arthur Miller portrays her as a femme fragile, and he does so often in very moving prose. In the end, what Arthur Miller offers the readers of Time Bends is a reason to believe in human vulnerability, a belief in human struggle itself, a belief in human frailty.